not?
It is. The courts have ruled that it is in his constitutional authority.
Right.
I disagree with that. I don't
Sure.
think it should have been done.
Well, politics enters there, Bob. You're in it too. I mean, Stumbo made a political. Granted, he based it on legal facts to bring it, but there was a political undertone to it, and much the same way with Governor Fletcher, he made a political decision to do what he did. I was just curious to know your thoughts, on that case.
Well, when I'm elected Attorney General, I'm going to keep politics out of any considerations and any decisions that I make.
Right.
My personal political future will not be entered into any of the decisions that I make.
Yeah, it seems like the AG post, quite honestly, lately has been. You had AG Chandler, that ran for governor.
Yes.
You had AG Stumbo, that said that he wouldn't run, and then threw his hat into the ring as LG candidate. And lately it seems that people have looked at this post as a stepping stone to other things.
Well, you use that term because that's a term that I use also, and what I'm saying is I will not be using the Attorney General's office as a stepping stone for higher office.
That the AG post is what you aspire to, and I'm not asking you to take any pledges because things change. But right now your desire is to just be. That's not a good phrase of words. Your desire is to be the Attorney General of the Commonwealth, and with over 30 years of experience as an assistant AG. I would tend to think that there's a lot of experience there in the depth of you go back 30 years like you've seen the good parts of the post and the bad parts of the post and everything in between.
Right. I won't need training wheels in order to learn how to be Attorney General. I can take over the office the very first day and start leading it, and that's very important because there are excellent people that are employees, long-term employees in the Attorney General's office.
Sure.
What they need is someone to help in the leadership and to help lead them into the next 4 years. But it is absolutely necessary that the Attorney General know what he's doing in order to be able to function as the leader. There's a big difference between repairing an automobile yourself, having repaired one, or reading a book about how to repair something. If you have actually done the work yourself,
right,
you have a depth of knowledge that you couldn't possibly gain by either reading a book or having someone tell you about it.
Yeah, there's no OJT required. You said that that the AG post is to serve the public interests of every Kentuckian. With me, by the way, is Bob Bullock, a Democrat candidate for Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. You said, Bob, that it was an opportunity to serve the public interest. I'd like for you to expound on that further. If the listeners are listening, they might be thinking to themselves, okay, well, that sounds nice. How actually is that put into motion? How does an Attorney General serve my interest as a citizen of the Commonwealth?
Well, as I said earlier, had the opportunity of establishing the Consumer Protection Division in the Attorney General's office. And that particular job allows the Attorney General, or function allows the Attorney General the opportunity to stop fraud through injunctive process,
right,
in Kentucky, and then seek restitution for the consumers that have been victimized. And that
i.e. the civil cases is what you were talking about.
I.e. the civil cases.
Okay.
That's in the public interest. Mm-hmm. And the law requires that when the Attorney General brings that action, he must certify that it's in the public interest, which I would do in each instance.
Is that certified before a court?
Yes, that's part of the pleading.
I saw an interesting thing the other day. A.G. Stumbo, they did a sting on sexual predators. I'm sure that you're aware of that.
Right.
That caught up 10 or 12. It was much like what goes on NBC with the To Catch a Predator series, and I'm trying to just give a breadth of what the Attorney General does for our listeners. When you say public interests and citizens, that is a very good example of what you do.
Yes, and I think the same would be true in educating the public as to identity fraud, the various perils along those lines, and I am especially interested in keeping utility rates down. And as you probably know, the Attorney General appears before the Public Service Commission to make certain that utility rates are fair and equitable to the public. So that's something I will also be doing.
That's probably a surprise to many people that are not familiar with the post of Attorney General. That falls under the auspices of your office. With me on the line is Bob Bullock, Democrat candidate for Attorney General of the Commonwealth of Kentucky. Bob, I let some folks know that you were going to be on the air with me, and I had a lady ask me a particular question, and the question revolves around deadbeat dads, and that really irritates me too. Whether they're on welfare or not on welfare, I know that if there's a settlement, not a settlement, but money owed by deadbeat dads, there's a lot of money in that pipeline that's not being paid. As Attorney General, that falls under your auspices. How are you going to take care of that situation?
Well, I think that society as a whole has a responsibility to look after our children and to help single mothers or single fathers in this particular instance. Now, while I was an assistant Attorney General, I had the opportunity to establish a section in our office for child support enforcement. And we went to the various courts of the state to enforce child support